guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. As you can tell from the title of this video is going to be about the weirdest things I've ever heard as a nurse. This video is going to be not only educational, it's going to be very informative, especially for you guys who are not nurses yet, who want to go into the profession of nursing, or for those of you guys who want to understand who nurses are and what they really do. So this is going to be in the form of the weirdest thing I've ever heard, but I'm going to then clarify a lot of the misconceptions that people have about nursing. So if you want to hear what these things are, then please stay tuned for the video. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Mercy. I am an RN BSN, and on this channel, I talk about nursing, lifestyle, beauty, vlog, feminine hygiene. I just do a little bit of everything. So if you want to get some female empowerment, learn a lot about feminine hygiene and nursing and healthy hair and all of that good stuff, then please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so you can join my family. And for my return viewers, I'd like to say welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thank you guys again so much for all your love and support. I'm actually really excited about this video because this video is in collaboration with one of my favorite nurse tubers, and you guys might already know her, but her name is Carly Ray. Carly Ray is a fellow nurse YouTuber, which is what I call nurse tuber. So on her channel, she talks mostly about nursing. She does a few vlogs and other few things here and there, but her channel is mostly about nursing as well. So Carly Ray is an AD and RN who has over 7 years of nursing experience. She has done a little bit of home health, travel nursing, geriatric nursing, and her most recent position is an emergency room nurse. She actually just got promoted to charge nurse position, and the funny thing is, when we both decided to do this collaboration, we were both under 50K, and as soon as we both connected and decided to do a collaboration, we both hit a very big milestone on both our channels. So I hit 50K subscribers and she hit 50K subscribers as well. So we are both really happy. So we just wanted to join forces and collaborate with you guys. So for those of you who are here for the first time from Carly's channel, I'd like to say welcome to my family. Okay, so without talking any further, let's finally get into the video. This is going to be an interesting one, so grab some snack, get a comfortable seat, because this is about to be an interesting ride. You guys are gonna hear some weird things that people think or say about nurses, and hopefully this video will help enlighten you and educate you on who nurses really are and what they really do. The number one ridiculous thing anybody has ever said to me as a nurse is, "Why didn't you just become a doctor? You are way too smart to be a nurse. You could have just spent a few more years to become a doctor." And I've done a video on this before. Not every nurse wants to be a doctor. A lot of nurses chose specifically to be a nurse because that is their calling. Not everyone wants the responsibility or the student loans of being a doctor. And this video is not to talk badly about anybody, not any doctors or any other profession. This is solely about nursing. The second most ridiculous thing I've ever heard someone say is, "So you can just apply for your nursing license, right? Do you have to go through all the schooling? Why can't you just go apply to take the state boards, then become a nurse?" I think the reason a lot of people say this is because a lot of times people come from other countries with prior education, like a doctorate education, nursing education, and sometimes depending on the state, all they are required to do is to take the state boards. So for some reason, a lot of people think that you can just skip nursing school, apply to take the state boards, and get your license. That is ridiculous. If I could do that, I would have 5 nursing licenses if that was possible. But no, if you're in this country and you want to become a nurse, from what I know, you have to go to nursing school just like everyone else, endure the blood, sweat, and tears, and I do mean blood, sweat, and tears. You have to endure all of that and then take the state boards in order to get a nursing license. The third most ridiculous thing I've ever heard someone say is, "So all you do is wipe butts?" I can't do that. I am not gonna go to school for 3-4 years just to clean butts. No, nurses do not solely clean butts. Yes, we do clean butts. We clean a lot of butts. Some of us more butts than others. Did I say butt enough? But yes, we do clean butts, but that is not our only skills. We have way more skills than just cleaning butt. We are teachers, we are educators, we are advocates, we are mandated reporters, we are medication administrators, we draw blood, we give blood, we do CPR. Let's just say we save lives on a regular basis. And nurses are the hearts of the hospitals. The doctors and the family and the patients will be nowhere, and I mean nowhere, without nurses. And I don't want to say this as if nurses are the only most important people in healthcare, but we are pretty important. So no, we don't just clean butts. The next big misconception is that nurses are just there to nurture and mother patients. No, even though that is a big part of what we do as nurses, but nurses actually use science and critical thinking to save lives every single day. Most times the nurses are catching the doctor's mistakes. Most times the nurses are catching each other's mistakes. Most times nurses are the difference between a life and death situation. Literally. Another big annoying misconception is that nurses are just there to follow doctors' orders. Again, yes, we do follow doctor's orders, but we don't have to follow doctor's orders. Let me explain what I mean by that. Let's say you're supposed to give a patient some pain medication like morphine. It's just an example. You know that 1 ml of morphine is safe for a patient. Let's say a doctor tells you to give 5 ml of morphine. You can tell the doctor that you don't think that is safe. If the doctor insists, if you don't feel comfortable, you can refuse to carry out that order. Yes, the doctor might be mad at you. Yes, you might get cussed out. And by the way, I love doctors, so not all doctors are like this, but a lot of them are like that. If you don't follow their orders, they get mad at you. But no, we don't just follow doctors' orders. We also give recommendations and suggestions to doctors. We're the ones who are with the patients for hours and hours and hours. The doctors most times only come in for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Most times they have to ask us about how the patients are doing. They have to ask us what we think is important or necessary to improve the patient's health or to carry out the patient's plan of care. So no, we don't just follow doctors around. We have a mind and a brain of our own. Another annoying misconception that people have is that everything they see on TV about nurses are real. I'm telling you, I've watched these doctors and nursing shows, and this was before I became a nurse. I used to love those kind of shows because I wanted to become a nurse so bad. It was only until I went to nursing school, became a nurse, that I found out that most of those things are so wrong. They are dead wrong. From the way they do CPR, to the way they hold their stethoscope, to the way they put it in their ear to listen to patients, most of it is wrong. So no, just because you watch a lot of doctor shows like Grey's Anatomy and stuff like that, doesn't mean you know the nurse's job. No, this nurse just went to school for all these years to learn how to be a nurse. And now you're gonna tell her how to be a nurse from a TV show? Okay. Another misconception would be that nurses have no decision and no say in what happens to the patient. Again, this relates to just following the doctor's orders or following the doctors around. That is not the case at all. Actually, most of the time, nurses are the one who make the life and death decisions. As I said, a lot of times, the doctors don't spend a lot of time with the patients. The nurses do. The nurses are the ones who are catching the early signs of deterioration in patients. I remember when I was working my first job as a nurse, I was with this patient for 2 days. So I had the patient the day before, and when I came back the next day, I was assigned to the patient. So I knew the patient very well. The first day I was with the patient was cool. They were getting ready to discharge him. He was getting ready to go home. Everything was fine. He was talking, he was eating, he was on the phone with his family, he was watching TV. The next day I come in, the doctors come in, they do their rounds, they check on the patient, and they leave. But this patient just didn't seem right to me. I started to talk to the patient more, and I quickly started to realize that the patient's condition was deteriorating. So I quickly called the doctor, and I told the doctor, but they said just keep an eye on him. And I really keep an eye on him because I am not having a coded patient on my shift. So I was in that room every single second, and I kept calling the doctor and they kept saying keep an eye on him. I ended up having to call the rapid response team, which is a team of nurses, sometimes some doctors or nurse practitioners, but it's a team of people that comes and check on the patients. They are highly skilled to deal with patients like this. So they came, they checked on the patient, and they realized that the patient needed to be transferred to a more skilled unit like the ICU. So yes, I was the one with the patient for 2 days, and I was the one who was able to realize that this patient was just not the same person. So yes, nurses are often making life and death decisions. So another misconception that people think is being a nurse is just one thing. So maybe you're only administering medication as a nurse, or maybe you're just there to help deliver a baby. A nurse is actually like a respiratory therapist, medication administrator, advocate, lawyer, social worker, breathing treatment person. I mean, anything you can think about that is in healthcare, a nurse does. Not every nurse does everything, but every nurse can do everything. Does that make sense? So for example, if you have an ICU nurse, if you put her on a, let's say, cardiac telemetry unit, she may not know what to do there, but she has the basic skills as a nurse to still take care of that patient. Or if a nurse is in a primary care setting where she is the only person there, like home health, for example, if that patient has a breathing treatment, you have to do the breathing treatment. If the patient needs suction, you have to suction the patient. If the patient has a wound dressing that needs to be changed, you do that. If the patient takes insulin, you administer the insulin. If the patient needs antibiotic via IV, if you're IV certified, you're the one giving that. If the patient needs blood, whatever the patient needs, you as the nurse, especially in a primary care setting, you have to do it. But if you're in a bigger place like the hospital, then all the nurses have their own specialty that they specify or specialize in. So no, a nurse is not just one thing. A nurse is many things all wrapped in one. I guess they couldn't come up with a better term to describe us than nurses. So we'll take it. Another big misconception is that nurses are usually just taking blood pressure or checking the patient's vital signs. Yes, a lot of times nurses are checking vital signs, but I swear to God, nurses have like a third eye. I would walk into a restaurant or into a store with my family, and sometimes if I see a person that just doesn't look right, I can tell. Or let's say the person is crippled, or the person has an eye issue, or the person has a short hand. You can see those kind of things that ordinary people don't ordinarily see. So it's like you have a third eye. So even though you're checking vitals, but also we're normally checking every single system that person has. We might be listening to how they're breathing. Is their breathing labored? Are they using accessory muscles to breathe versus just breathing normal? Are they grunting? Are they having difficulty sitting upright? Are they breathing fast? Are they irritated? Are they talking faster than normal? Are they talking slower than normal? Are they agitated by something? Are they in a bad mood? We're just looking at all these things, but it only seems like we're checking their blood pressure. If you've come this far on the video and you like it, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. And also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and also share the video. The next most irritating thing that I've ever heard, and this one affects me because I am a home health nurse, is that home health nurses are there to clean your house, give you a sponge bath, and run your errands. No, even though this is a private duty nurse situation, as I said before, if the nurse is there by herself, everything the patient needs, she has to do. But at the same time, we are not your maids. We are not there to clean your house. We are not there to sweep your floors, mop your floors, make your bed, do all of these things. No. And it is very, very degrading when you expect us to do that. If you ask nicely, maybe because home care can sometimes have a lot of downtime, we will be willing to do those things. But it is very degrading when you expect us to just walk in the door and start sweeping the floor for you and your family, washing the dishes in the sink, going to run a quick errand for you, or going to the grocery store for you. No, that is not our jobs. We are respected professionals who went to school and suffered to get our license, so we deserve to be respected. The last misconception that I want to talk about, and if you guys like this video, as I said, give it a big thumbs up. If you guys want to see more of these videos, also let me know in the comments. I'll make a lot more of these. But the last one I want to talk about is when people say, oh my God, you're a nurse. You're so lucky to only have to work 3 days a week. Guess what? Yes, it is true that a lot of nurses only work 3 days a week, but the 4 days, I am telling you from a nurse who has worked multiple positions in the hospital, working those 3 12-hour shifts, those 4 days are literally spent recovering from your 3 12 hours. Because when you work 3 12 hours, it's really not 3 12 hours. It is 12 hours and 30 minutes because you have to count lunch. You also have to factor your drive time. So if it takes you an hour to get to work, you have to add that in. If it takes you an hour to get home, you have to add that in. Most times nurses go early so they can get their assignments in order to research the patients before their shift starts. So usually this can be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I used to go 40 minutes early every single morning. And then let's say you had a crazy day and you weren't able to chart or you weren't able to do everything before the next shift. You have to give report to the next nurse, have them take over, and then you have to go sit down and chart your life away. Because if you didn't chart it, it wasn't done. So you have to chart or you have to catch up with everything you didn't do in order to fulfill all your requirements for that day. So those 12-hour shifts can be anywhere from 13, 14, sometimes even 15 hours. And if you work for a company that mandate their nurses to stay over, sometimes you could be working up to 16 hours. So those 3 days are awesome, but sometimes the 4 days are spent recovering from those 3 days. Okay guys, that is it for this video. As I said before, if you liked it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you can join my family, and also hit the bell notification button because I do not upload on a schedule. I am a busy working mom, student, YouTuber, so I upload when I can. You guys who have been here for a long time know that sometimes I can upload 5 videos a week. Sometimes I'll do 2, sometimes I'll do 1. It just all depends on what time I have. So it is very, very important to have that bell notification on so that you'll never miss my videos. So thank you guys again so much for your love and support. Don't forget to share the video. Share the video to all your friends, loved ones, and social medias. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you guys again so much for your love and support, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.